The content you're about to enjoy comes from the archives of The Best You. We're devoted to the very best in personal development, with a platform and resources dedicated to inspiring and changing people's lives. At The Best You, we work with the world's leading writers and trainers on the evolution of the self, and people whose journeys have been affected by their work and words. These Best You EXPO talks are recorded in front of a live audience in a live event. We highly recommend that you focus on the message. As they say, what you focus on expands. Enjoy.
Hello, my name is Yema Ferreira. I'll be talking about identity today. There's the right spelling of my name. You can find my website as well. I am a psychotherapist and life coach, and I work with Black women to redefine our identities. As a Black woman in the personal development and psychotherapy worlds, I became very aware that there were ways in which my needs were not being met. And I actually found the same with some of my clients in what they reported. So I decided to focus on working with this group. If you want any more information about me, it's on the website. So when it comes to identity, there's the main question I think that at some point in our lives we ask ourselves is who am I? If somebody were to ask you is who are you? And my question is, have you ever seriously considered this question of who you are and really thought about it? We all have multiple identities. There are different things that we encompass as individual persons. There is gender, race, sexual orientation, professional identity, and a number of other things that we can pile onto that. My thing is, you're born who you are for a reason. You're born in your culture, in your race, your gender, in the family, the community that you were born with the preferences and inclinations that you have for a reason. That reason is neither for you to ignore those aspects of you, who you are, nor is it for you to be defined in a confining sense to these things. You are those things, but also more than all of these things. The reason you are born as who you are, as a woman, as a Black woman, as an Asian woman, as a man, as whatever you are, all the things that you are, is so that you can use those aspects of you who you are in the world. That is where your power actually is. Unfortunately, most of us give up our power because we deny different aspects of ourselves because of what people or society has said about who we are, or who we ought to be. And when we do that, we lose our power because there's a reason that we were born with all of these things. Maya Angelou said, "If you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be." And that quote is especially important, I think, in our day and time because everybody's trying to conform to something, some idealized normality that we all have to fit into. So who defines who you are? Who gets to define who you are? That's good. You're ahead of the game then. Is it society? I think most of us, at least in some respects, let ourselves be defined by society. Is it politics? Certainly for women of color, Black women, who are the main group I work with, politics has been a huge way in which we are defined? Is it just other people, your family, your partner? And the list could go on and on, really, about, your teacher, there are many, many, many different sources of ideas about who we ought to be. But whose job is it to define you? And I heard you say that you define yourself. So yeah, when we don't define ourselves, someone else will. The universe doesn't like a vacuum. If we don't do the job of defining ourselves, somebody else is going to do that. And they usually won't know who we are, so that definition will not be correct. And so when we don't know who we are, we become whatever they say we are, whoever they is.
Having promoted more than 600 speakers and more than 65,000 people attend my seminars and courses and workshops and expos, having read so many books and attended so many courses, I really realized that the basics of personal, professional growth is based on the power of the question. Asking yourself empowering questions. Read my new book, The Question, Find Your True Purpose. It's based on my work, 30 years of entrepreneurship, all the experiences that I have, my manifesto, and what's really important. So for more information, go to www.thequestion.co.
So we're not here to be defined by others, but we're here to discover who we are, because who we are is already inside of us. It just needs to be drawn out. It's already in there. So it's about accepting all parts of ourselves, because what we do is based on what we are told is, this bit is okay, and this one is not, this one is, and we become fragmented because we put away bits of ourselves. But that's where the gift is, usually, in the bits that we hide. So it's about, discovering who we are is really about accepting all of who we are. So it is your job, it is our individual job to gradually feel inside ourselves and uncover who we are, because as I said before, it's already in there. And why does it matter to know who we are? So self-awareness, it's been said many times here that self-awareness is the beginning of change. When we don't know ourselves, we're aimless. When we know ourselves, we can be guided by our values and the things that we find within ourselves. Identity is linked to purpose. Who you are has everything to do with what you're supposed to be doing here on earth. So if you're chucking that away, you're actually chucking away the reason you are here. You are unique. You've heard this many times. There's no person like you. There's no other person with the combination of factors that makes you you. So, in that, the gift that you're supposed to give to the world is in the uniqueness of who you are. So because nobody else knows really who you are, they can't define you really correctly. And when you deny yourself, all the bits of yourself, who you know yourself to be, and take on some other identity that's come from the outside, you are actually denying the world that gift that is supposed to come through you. Because if you don't do it, the people you're supposed to give it to are not going to get it. So it's actually selfish. It's actually selfish to let other people define you. And then once you know who you are, then you can start working on developing to be who you are, because other people will always have an agenda for you, and it takes courage to say, no, that's your stuff, this is me. So how do I find out who I am? All this talk about who I am, and finding out who I am. Well, I'm a psychotherapist, so obviously I will say that psychotherapy is one of the I think it's one of the best ways, really, to explore yourself. But there are many, many different ways. I think there are as many ways as there are, people, ways of being in the world. Life coaching is another way. Depending on where it's focused, it's perhaps less direct, but it's also a very good way of exploring the self, getting to know yourself. And there are many other different ways. There are many personal development tools, many programs, this place is filled up with life coaches, many different life coaches that can help you do that. So one of the ways that I help women explore who they are is through vision boards. Vision boards are most often used to look ahead, set goals and intentions, look at the future. And I use them as well to look within. It's really about going within, and because we hide those bits of ourselves that we're uncomfortable with, we hide them inside so that we become, a stranger to those parts of us. So it's about going within and finding those things that we're hiding in there and just plastering them out where we can see them. And then it's a daily reminder. If you hang it in a place where you can see it every day, it's a daily reminder that of who you are.
If you're interested in speaking, exhibiting, or getting involved in the largest personal development expos in the world, contact us today at www.thebestyouexpo.com or send us an email to info@thebestyou.co.
So I'll tell you a little bit about this workshop that I do, and then I will tell you 3 ways that you can do it yourself, because there are so many different ways of doing it. So this is a full-day catered workshop. It's usually in central London somewhere. It's a dedicated space for Black women and women of color, because I think it's important for those spaces to exist as well, so that we can come back to the larger space as whole beings. As I said, we take what's inside and bring it out. We draw it out. It gives you clarity about what's important to you, a feeling of connection to who you really are and where you fit in the great scheme of things, and a potential for connecting to other women who share your experience. Now, I put potential there because the onus is on you, right? It's the women will be there, the other people will be there, but it's your choice whether or not you're going to connect. And it costs £57 to attend. Now, there are also many ways that you can do it yourself without having to go to a workshop, seeing a therapist, or do anything. Yeah, there are obviously different levels of, what you can do. And I'm sure you know all of them already, but I think it's good for us to be reminded of these things. I think journaling is perhaps the most underrated way of accessing ourselves. I promise you, if you journal, it doesn't matter, it just needs to be regular. It doesn't have to be every day. Some people journal, 3 times a week, once a week, or as long as it's a regular part of your life, it's a habit. If you journal, your self-awareness will go through the roof, and you will just be able to be more present in situations because you will know what is your stuff that's coming up and what is somebody else pushing your buttons. Asking trusted friends and family. While we don't let other people define us, people who love us, people who spend time with us and care about us are actually very well placed to give us feedback on, because we all have blind spots. We can't see all of who we are. Some of it has to be mirrored. Somebody has to hold up a mirror to show us what we're doing. And so if we ask kindly with the promise that we're really doing this because we want to grow and we don't attack the other person if they say something that's nice. You can ask something like, can you, how would you describe me in 1 word or 2 words? Can you tell me one thing you really like about me and one thing that really annoys you about me, kind of way of asking. And then the 3rd way is meditation, which, we all know as well, but need to be reminded of, right? Just finding that quiet space, that quiet time as a habit. Again, a habit It's just a habit. It doesn't have to be something that you whip yourself with. Oh, now today I didn't do it. Whoosh, whoosh. So meditation is also great and amazing for going within and quieting all the noise that's going on around us all the time, and just centering on our core and really hearing the gentle voice that tells us what to do, who we are, how to be in the moment. So these are 3 ways. There are many more. I'm sure you too know of other ways to increase your self-awareness. And that's really it from me. I'm in stand EB, E9B. And if you want to talk to me about anything, about what I'm doing, or just have questions, or just want to have a chat, this is where you can find me. There's the website as well. Thank you for coming.
For more information, go to www.thebestyou.co.